Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today, we're going to be focusing on Conflict Resolution Day. I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Kristen Woodward. Kristen, would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Woodward. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I have worked in the education field for about 10 years now, doing conflict resolution and peer mediation with students and staff.
Thank you, Kristen. Kristen is a great friend and colleague. We've worked together, oh my gosh, Kristen, on this project almost, well, for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So my name is Cynthia Morton. I am the coordinator for the online peer mediation platform. I'm so happy to have you with us wherever you're viewing this. This is a recording, so it could be any time, day or night. But we're going to talk a little bit about Conflict Resolution Day. And the online peer mediation platform has put together a conflict resolution kit that we will share on our website. So we're happy to have you with us, and let's get started and talk about Conflict Resolution Day. But before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about the online peer mediation platform, just a little bit about us, because this webinar is really not about us tonight. But we are a group of professionals, conflict resolution professionals from all walks of life, mediators, attorneys, educators, professors. And we run a platform where we promote peer mediation and all types of conflict resolution education. Kristen, a little bit later, will tell you about our website, but we also provide training to educators and organizations. So that's a little bit about us. And now over to Kristen, who's going to tell us a little bit about Conflict Resolution Day.
Yes, so Conflict Resolution Day, it is a global event that takes place on the third Thursday of October each year. So this year it will be October 17th, and it is a day to promote peaceful conflict resolution. So yes, peaceful means of resolving conflict among youth and educators and in schools. And it is a day to highlight the importance of resolving conflicts without violence and emphasizing the positive impact of dialogue and cooperation through constructive conflict resolution.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that you can do to prepare for Conflict Resolution Day, which is coming in what, 2 weeks from tomorrow, is that you can download a proclamation. So what a proclamation is for Conflict Resolution Day, it is where people pledge to act in, you know, find good solutions for their conflicts. So you can actually promote this in your organization, but we're primarily talking about schools today. And so you can have your students sign the pledge and display it somewhere in your school where people can see it. And then they can see all the students who have pledged to use peaceful conflict resolution skills and also promote conflict resolution activities. Here's some examples of the Conflict Resolution Student Pledge and the Conflict Resolution Day proclamation for your organization. So remember, it's just not for schools, but Conflict Resolution Day is also for organizations. So Kristen, you want to tell them a little bit about promoting Conflict Resolution Day?
Yes, absolutely. So promoting Conflict Resolution Day so that students and staff and educators know about it and publicizing your events, whether that be through online or bulletins or whatever you may have, some form of newsletter where you can publicize your events to let individuals know that Conflict Resolution Day is coming and we are celebrating it. And
And
so
Kristen, yeah, I'm sorry, you want to tell them about the link that they can download?
yep. So you can download the link here you see on the screen. And that's the link for the school's annual conflict resolution event for the Conflict Resolution Day. And that is through acr.net.org.
Fantastic.
And this is a poster that you all can download and use. It's provided by ACR as well. It just demonstrates Conflict Resolution Day and the very many methods there are to resolving conflicts peacefully.
So we're going to talk a little bit about hosting an event. ACR will allow you to notify them about any events that you may be hosting in your organization or your school. If you go to the ACR website right now, you would see there's a couple already on there that they give you some additional ideas. So here are some ideas that you might consider: hosting a mock mediation for your students to see what peer mediation is like. You could even sponsor something. We've done this before, a peace cafe, using a film like Odd Girl Out. And I'll tell you a little bit about that film in just a moment. But there are also other films. Any film that is a great storyline, that has some conflict and has some resolution to it, would be a great discussion piece for a peace cafe. So Odd Girl Out is a movie that was in the early 2000s, where a young girl who was in middle school was cyberbullied, and how there were in her school that were upstanders. And so the film shows what a bystander looks like, but it also shows what an upstander looks like. And this is the cover of the video so that you know what it looks like. I believe you actually can download this or show it from YouTube free. So that's a good news. There are some other ideas that you can do besides just the things that we talked about, the Peace Cafe or having a mock mediation. You can launch a school-wide Increase the Peace campaign. This is where students describe how they peacefully resolved a problem that day. I think it's great to see real life solutions from real life students. And then you can post these problem-solving methods throughout the hall. You can also have students nominate a fellow peacemaker in their grade. I think it's a great way to honor someone who stands up for peace. These people can be, these students and also your staff members can be honored on Conflict Resolution Day. And you can also produce and distribute information on how to establish peer mediation programs. Kristen, you want to talk a little bit about elementary school ideas?
Yeah, definitely. Elementary school ideas for Conflict Resolution Day for promoting it. What you can do is in a classroom or school counselor's office or wherever, maybe you can set up a peace corner or a conflict resolution zone, and students can use to kind of calm down, get in touch with their emotions, talk out their problems, write out their thoughts and their feelings. And middle school, there are ideas as well for middle school students. So a similar idea in terms of setting up a conflict-free zone where students can talk out their problems. Dialogue is a really important component of conflict resolution. And then have rules for the students to follow, some guidelines or some parameters to make sure it's a productive dialogue. So each person should speak at a time, and no name calling are some examples of those ground rules.
Fantastic. Now we're going to expand in just a minute after Kristen talks a little bit about a website that you could go to.
Yes, definitely. So for more ideas, go to the randomactsofkindness.org, kindness ideas, for more ideas on how to promote Conflict Resolution Day.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk a little bit about some high school ideas. So a couple of ideas that we came across that we thought were great to share is to stick sticky notes on every locker in your school with something nice on it. You can even put these in the bathroom. There is a company that will actually sell you some stickers and things like that, and they're peelable and they're just really, they're already created for you. But if you're like me and you don't have a budget for that, you can have students handwrite sticky notes like "You're beautiful, smile, you make a difference." In the school's cafeteria, you can have the workers prepare food, and that way the students come behind them and clean behind the scenes, because really and truly cafeteria workers never really get thanked for the things they do. And another idea is to write a sticky note and stick it on the trays, telling the cafeteria workers, "Thank you for what you do." That's a really nice idea. And then listen well to classmates sitting around you, because sometimes people just don't feel like they're listened to. And sometimes you can really tell a lot about people when you just listen. In fact, we have very little training in listening. And in fact, 0 to 2% training, as you know, most people don't get any, but just listening is a great tool as well. And everyone loves having friends. When you introduce yourself to somebody new, it makes them feel warm, it makes them feel accepted. And so just really just letting people know that, hey, I'm glad to have you here. A couple of other ideas. Practice speaking in a kind way for one day. This is really hard, but keep every negative thought, frustration, or complaint to yourself and only share a positive comment with someone. I bet by the end of the day, you'll be like, wow, that was really difficult. But every time you have a negative thought, counter it with something loudly with a positive thought. We try to see a silver lining in a situation instead of something negative. And that's really hard, especially if you're in a environment that does not promote positivity. Also, have you ever been new at a school or at a club or organization, or you've moved somewhere? Just think how it feels to be new in a new environment and around new people. We know that that can be really scary for kids when they move somewhere. So just really making friends with them and letting them feel accepted. And maybe, you have an ambassador program or you have a peer mediation program. That's something when you're not mediating that possibly you could do to make people feel welcome. Kristen, you want to talk a little bit about hosting some more events?
Yeah, absolutely. So some great ideas to come on hosting events. So you can organize a film festival that highlights conflict resolution and then discussing peaceful conflict resolution strategies. Some children's movies and television shows already explore themes such as positive conflict resolution. Another idea is you can create a mini retreat and dedicate part of that retreat to addressing common sources of conflict through workshops and group activities in class. Some more ideas, hosting an art, poetry, or t-shirt contest. Where I come from in Fairfax County, they did bookmarks. They did a bookmark contest. And so you have the students create the artwork for whatever it is you're producing, reflecting on the theme of conflict and peaceful conflict resolution. Another idea is holding a brown bag or a professional development talk on campus for professionals in your community, or hold an educational event for students, or make a presentation in a classroom or school to other teachers and students.
Yeah. And Kristen, I'm going to add one. One of our colleagues, Darcy Thompson, who's from Houston, created a superhero art contest for peer mediators, where they were able to submit their superhero conflict resolution superhero. I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some other dates besides Conflict Resolution Day, because we don't want our skills just to stop with one day. We want it to expand all year. So I'm going to give you some other dates that you might consider, especially if this, you see this webinar and you're like, man, I would like to do that for next year, but what are some other things that I can do this year and going into 2025? So here are some other dates and events that you might celebrate. In January, No Name Calling Week, where for 1 week we do some activities. We do it with our peer leaders in Rockdale County Schools, where I work part-time, which is outside of Atlanta, Georgia, where we do activities where we help people not to feel like they're put down, and we give people strategies and upstanding skills. So it's a really great way to expand on Conflict Resolution Day. Also in February, there's Dating Violence Awareness or Kindness Relationships, if you're doing younger grades like elementary and middle school, where we talk about healthy relationships. Random Acts of Kindness, that was the website that Kristen shared with you. And then for middle and elementary school, No One Sits Alone, which is a great way to bring inclusion to your school. In March, if you have a peer mediation program, the National Association of Peer Program Professionals holds a National Peer Helper Week. And, peer mediators are peer helpers. So you want to maybe celebrate your peer mediation program, maybe do a ceremony and really promote them, because this is a good marketing strategy to get people to join your peer mediation program. In April, Youth Violence Awareness, where we make people aware of youth violence and how we can make safer schools. September is International Day of Peace, which just went by. That's by the United Nations, and they give you some great strategies if you go to their website. And then another middle school, elementary school idea is start with hello, and that's just really saying hello to people, which is simple but effective. October, which is what we're in right now, by the way, not only is it Conflict Resolution Day is in October, but it's also Bullying Awareness Month, which we promote upstanding skills to students. Unity Day, which is, I believe, also the third week of October, which is Wear Orange up against bullying. And then another strategy is Mix It Up Day, where people just mix it up in the lunchroom and they sit with different people. So there's all kind of ideas. So I would say, don't do all of them, but do pick some that you think you would like to employ in your school environment. Kristen, do you want to talk a little bit about our website?
Yeah, so we have a website and it is a wealth of resources. So what it includes resources, training, the peer mediation standards, which are put forth by the Association for Conflict Resolution. We have research on there, videos, resources and lessons, and free curricula as well available to anyone that visits our site.
Kristen, do you want to talk about CRE education website and some of the ideas that Bill Water has promoted?
Yes, definitely. So CRE, or conflict resolution education, is recognizing conflict resolution leaders or volunteers in your community potentially is one idea. Another idea is sponsor a day of cooperative games for peer mediators and the public. Students can even create a puppet show exploring ways to deal with conflict peacefully. You can get other students involved by nominating a fellow student peacemaker in the grade, and then honoring these peacemakers in Conflict Resolution Day, or organizing an event or a festival. And then afterwards discussing peaceful conflict resolution strategies that many TV shows already explore, and children's movies explore. You can also create a mini retreat dedicated to Conflict Resolution Day when you're looking at common sources of conflict through the workshops. And then you can also have a t-shirt, an art t-shirt contest. And again, similar idea of the students creating the artwork, but around the theme of Conflict Resolution Day, peaceful conflict resolution, and then displaying that, working with community partners at art galleries and libraries to display the winning entries.
Wow, he sure has a lot of ideas, doesn't he, Kristen? And it's
He
important
does.
if you ever explore CRE education, you will find so many wonderful resources. And we want to thank Bill Waters for putting that together. But he has some other ideas too, Kristen, if you want to just go on and talk about those.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of these we've talked about, so a little bit of a review, but work with community partners at art galleries, libraries, museums, anywhere where it can be, frequented by individuals, and display winning entries. Again, have a proclamation and have students write individual pledges, and looking at students signing the pledge and displaying it prominently in their school corridors. You can also host a mock mediation in public for policymakers or elected officials or community members, leaders of organization or school personnel. That's a great way to show people in action what peer mediation looks like.
It's a great idea.
All right, so there are peer mediation standards set forth or established by the Association for Conflict Resolution, which I mentioned. What you, as a school or an organization, would need to do is pick an individual, or individuals, perhaps a group is always good, experienced in training peer mediators, and the trainers should be experienced mediators themselves, because they'll be working with the students. And just know that if you will be providing training, choose a curriculum that follows the Association for Conflict Resolution standards, which we'll talk about in a moment. So again, here are the standards for training, and know that these are the minimum number of hours that students need in order to be proficient in mediation and conflict resolution skills. So you can see here, elementary is 12 to 18 hours, middle school, again, the same 12 to 18, high school, a little bit more, as high school students deal with more kind of complex and dynamic problems, and then advanced training 12 hours a year. So this again is really important, and it's the minimum number of hours. All right, so why peer mediation? First thing you can do is conduct a needs assessment to find out what areas of your school or your organization have conflict. You can advertise the program among staff and students. It's important to establish some peer mediation protocols and how students will access the service, how they will refer other students or refer themselves to the service. And you want to provide practice for the students. That's really important. And the online peer mediation platform can provide free simulation practice for your students, which take advantage of. And then also maintaining records of mediation to let your administration know the progress that you've made and how you're contributing to a peaceful environment in the school system there. And then an evaluation is always important to see where the program is, also evaluating your peer mediators to see what additional training they need.
Yeah, so October is really a great month to kick off your peer mediation program, especially with Conflict Resolution Day, Kristen. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing that information. So I want you to know that the online peer mediation platform does provide a standards-based peer mediation coordinator training. The course is 32 hours. It is online, and we have trained professionals overseas, schools, Department of Defense schools, all over the United States. And so if that is something you might be interested in, just contact us. We'll provide our information at the end, especially if you're interested in starting a peer mediation program. So I do want to talk about something really exciting that we started last year, the online peer mediation platform, the JAMS Foundation, which is Judges, Arbitrators, and Mediators, and the National Association of Peer Program Professionals has created a peer mediation tournament where middle and high school students across the world can compete against one another for the title of Best Mediation Program. We had two winners last year, one from Missouri and one from Georgia. They received prizes. We got a lot of great feedback, so we're going back for year two, and registration begins in January. So if you already have a peer mediation program and you would like to show off your program, we would love to have you register for our tournament. The tournament goes from February to May. There are 3 rounds. It's like a basketball style tournament where you face off. And then if you lose that round, then you don't go to the next one. But if you win it, then you go to round 2, and then you go to round 3. And then from round 3, we declare the winners in the middle school and the high school tournament. Here is the tournament brochure. I will stay here for just a moment. That way, if you want to get your phone out and you want to scan the QR code, please feel free to do that. There is a correction. It was March to May, but we are actually expanding it February to May because of state testing that many schools do. So if you have a peer mediation team that you would like to sign up, we would love to have you. Here is our URL for our website. It's peermediationonline.org. And then our email is at the bottom, peermediationonline@gmail.com. Again, we would love to have you. If you can't do it and you want to promote this, please, please, please feel free to share this information. You can also download the tournament booklet. We do have a booklet that we will send out, but anyone can download the booklet just to see what the tournament's about before you decide that you want to do this, because it's kind of a commitment for sure. This is our resources that we want to share of some additional sites that we really promote. CASEL has social emotional learning resources, CR Education. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but it's an awesome site. Do something, has some kindness campaigns that you can share on Conflict Resolution Day. There's some techniques. Bill Eddy, who's an attorney and social worker, has techniques called the EAR technique for learning empathy. I've talked about the National Association of Peer Program Professionals. PACERS has some great bullying awareness materials. The Peace Alliance has a free conflict resolution curricula and presentations for educators. So I hope you will check those out as well. And then School Tools is another great resource that has a lot of great free videos. SAVE is Students Against Violence Everywhere, and Teaching Tolerance. I'm not sure if Teaching Tolerance is still available. I think their resources may have went to Edutopia. I'm really not sure. And also the Association for Conflict Resolution has a conference every year. This year it's in November at Creighton University in Nebraska. So Kristen and I would like to thank you for just being with us and watching this webinar today. And in just a minute before we get off, we want to show you the conflict resolution kit that we're going to be sharing online. Kristen, do you want to say any final words before we go to the conflict resolution kit?
Thank you for watching. I think that creating tomorrow and today's and the future peace leaders and peacekeepers is really very important. So thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Now we want to share just very quickly our toolkit that we created. And so I will show that to you very quickly. So Kristen, just tell me if you see it in just a minute. I'll let you know what I'm sharing.
Great. Yes, I see Conflict Resolution Day 2024.
Okay. Oh, we got to change that date. So this is going to be the kit for this year, and I put the wrong date. Well, no, that's right. It is 2024. I was thinking it's 2020. I'm sorry, I'm a year ahead. So Conflict Resolution Day, this is the kit that we have created, and it has great information for anyone that may be starting from scratch. It has the image that Kristen was talking about. It has the ACR Conflict Resolution Day kit that you can download with a proclamation and ideas and just tons of stuff. There's other events that we talked about, the yearly events through the year, and we have even more with resources that you can download. We have some additional ideas and information like the, I think it's Reactivate kit. I don't know if I'm even saying that correctly, but it's how you spread kindness. We have the ideas that we shared on our webinar with you as well. We have some great videos, Mix It Up Day, healthy relationships. We have information about peer mediation. There's a video you can watch. You want to start a peer mediation program, a little bit about that. We have some of our former webinars on here. We have the peer mediation standards that we did a webinar about. So we have that on there for you, the state of peer mediation from some of the top conflict resolution specialists in the country. We have information, we have information a little bit about the interest form. I think we have to sign in for that. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Okay, let's see if we can get back. We also have information about the tournament, a webinar. We have information about trauma-informed peer mediation, which is kind of thing that we're now promoting. We have some information about peer mediation programs, and you can actually hear from students. We have information about restorative practices, some videos that you can watch, peer mediation and bullying. Here's one I did back in the day. One from Krista Tenari, who did a Stand Up to Bullying Upstander webinar. There's a cyber bullying toolkit that you can download and get information and watch a video about that. Bullying resources, oh my goodness, we have that. Anti-bias education from UNICEF. Other conflict resolution activities from CRE Education, so you can go directly to Bill Waters' website, some other websites that we wanted to promote to you, and then some resources for educators. And of course, some conferences that you can go to that are steeped around conflict resolution, and some resources from our website. And then a little bit about our conflict resolution modules. If you not sure where to start, we have some low-cost modules that you can actually use to train your students in. And then you'll have access to our website as well. So we have a lot of information that we're going to be sharing with you. So again, thank you for being with us tonight for this very brief webinar about Conflict Resolution Day. And from Kristen and I, thank you so much. And we will see you in the next webinar. So we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you need anything from our, from our group, just reach out to us. We gave you our email address. And so we look forward to seeing you. Take care. Bye-bye.